Well, good day viewers. Today we have this 2009 Dodge Nitro, and it's here for a problem with the traction control system, I believe. The customer describes a sensation where the brakes are applying by themselves, they said. So I suspect that the traction control system is malfunctioning. It was in a few weeks ago and I repaired the wires to the rear speed sensors, and it had the ABS light on it at the time. So first we're going to scan it and see if there's any fault codes. Like I said in the previous video, I repaired the wiring harnesses to both rear speed sensors. And let's do a network code scan. Probably got to do that key on engine off. Line pressure low, faulty after shift. ABS pump motor supply low voltage. Right stop lamp circuit. Well, let's see if it's finished the recording. Almost done. Come on, you can do it. There we go. So there's no speed sensor fault codes, but there is a ABS pump motor supply voltage low. Well, I'm going to go into the ABS and we're going to monitor the wheel speed signals while we road test this thing. Now you'll notice the ABS and brake warning light blinking when we're in mode of testing here, and that sometimes affects the performance of the ABS as well. I don't know why engineers do that, but they do. So I'm going to pull up the data list here. So I've got 4 speed sensor signals graphed in RPM: front left, front right, rear right. And I'm going to go for a road test to see if one of these is dropping out. So I just experienced what I think the customer's talking about, and I don't think it's in the ABS at all. I think it's in the transmission. I'm starting off from a stop. Speed signals look good. That was the transmission shifting abruptly into second gear. Wow. That's not the ABS applying, and that's not a speed signal dropping out. If I recall, there was a couple of transmission related fault codes. Wow. It's like it hangs in first. That's not an ABS problem. We're going to look at the transmission shift data. So here are the fault codes that were in the engine and transmission control computer, which are one and the same. P0896, line pressure low, and P1790, fault immediately after a shift. So I'm going to clear those codes and see what happens. So I wanted to check the transmission fluid, but it doesn't have a dipstick, of course. So we'll have to go back to the shop to check the quality of the fluid with a dipstick. I've cleared the codes out of the tranny. I'm going to watch some data, transmission data, watch the shift points. Watch actual line pressure. And I'll pick the data list here. So we're going to watch transmission shift points and actual line pressure and PSI while we drive it here. I've cleared the codes out of the computer. Wow. That really severe 1-2 shift point and a 2-3 shift point. I wonder if we should try a relearn. off from a stop again. Could try a CVI relearn, maybe that might straighten it out. May have gotten screwed up somehow. That one was okay. That time it was okay. That's interesting. Now it seems to have sorted itself out. I'm going to try a CVI relearn. Let's pull over here on the side of our street. Exit the functional tests. No, that's not what I wanted. System tests. Quick learn. This function will initiate the quick learn procedure. Engine must be running, brake pedal must be depressed, parking brake set. Test will not run if codes are present. Move the shift lever to drive. Neutral. Codes are present. Test will not be performed if codes are present. Codes are present. Well, let's see what codes are present. Line pressure low. Well, let's go back to the shop. So the code that returned is a P0896 for line pressure low.
Definitely got a slow leak in this tire.
I'm going to look at data right now. So for the line pressure, it's displayed as a voltage and in PSI if I'm not mistaken. Desired line pressure is 134. Actual line pressure is 134. And line pressure sensor voltage is 0.625. So it's not out of range right now. At least I don't believe it is. Desired and actual. So I'm going to do some research and find out what typically sets this P0868 code. So here is the troubleshooter for P0868. Code sets when desired line pressure and actual line pressure are more than 10 psi below. Possible causes are low fluid level. While I did check the fluid level, it's not low and it's nice and clean. A problem with the 5-volt supply circuit, poor line pressure sensor connection. So we're going to lift it up. I think the line pressure sensor on this is a 42 RLE, I believe, is on the outside. So we're going to have a look. Got my assistant lifting the truck. So here's an interesting anomaly. I have it running now. I cleared the code. Desired line pressure is 135 and actual is 30. But the voltage didn't change. Can I get you to shut it off and start it again? It's my understanding the line pressure sensor voltage should be represented in PSI over here. Huh, that's interesting. Well, let's put it up in the air and have a look. So underneath the vehicle, looking at the wiring harness going into the tranny, and I see evidence of some rodent activity. In fact, there's one wire hanging right out of here. I don't know what that's for, but that's not a good sign. Okay, we're going to try to pry this harness out of here. You see the O2 sensor wires taped to it. Well, this exhaust is so hot right now. But definitely something's been eating the green wire with a trace on it. I'm gonna have to let this cool off. I can't put my hand up here. This catalytic converter is like 500 degrees right now. Well, this is gonna be fun to try to fix. Oh well. So I managed to get the connectors unplugged from the transmission, which is a bit of a challenge. And some harness pulled down here. So we're gonna untape this and see how many wires are compromised in there, but hopefully that's the root cause of the problem, is rodent activity. There's definitely a green wire compromised. I'm using a seam ripper to cut the tape. If we could pull that harness down another 6 inches would be awesome, but oh, beautiful. Get rid of this. There's one wire, brown with a green tracer, and there's a blue wire that's chewed as well. Where's the other end of that wire? Oh, here it is. Well, so far I see just 2 wires compromised. This blue wire, it's chewed but it's not broken, and this brown wire with the green tracer. I'd be curious as to whether or not that has something to do with the pressure regulation. Yeah. Well, we're going to splice these wires. Yeah. Okay, we got to get some wire to lengthen that. I did the easy one so far. So there's the harness repaired, piece of sleeve over top of it, or insulation. I'm going to blow these sand out of these connectors, put some dielectric grease on the seals, and I'm going to look up here on top, make sure nothing has fallen inside the transmission connectors. Blow them out. So now the transmission line pressure voltage is like 0.46 instead of 0.6. I'm going to have my assistant start the vehicle and see what it shows, desired and actual. Imagine that. Let's the first time I've seen the voltage default. I could expect to see the pressure in PSI or kPa default, but not the voltage. Well, we're going to take it for a road test and see how it shifts now. So there are no codes in it now. We're going to do a quick learn just the same under system tests. Quick learn. Sidling in gear. Continue. Move the shift lever to D. Move it to neutral. Shift to drive. Do not release the brake. Shift to park. Done. Let's go for a road test. Well, desired and actual line pressure seem to be following each other, and the transmission seems to be shifting fine now. Second gear, nice and smooth. Third gear, nice and smooth. Yeah, I'm sure that's all it was. I'm curious as to whether that one wire that was chewed was actually one of the pressure sensor wires, but maybe look at his schematic after and establish whether or not it was. I have a piece of that wire that was brown with a green tracer, if I'm not mistaken. The transmission seems to shift beautiful now again. Overdrive, downshift. Good to go. Thanks for watching.